Howdy folks, how you doing? I'm the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. I do hope you're finding the love and that you're witnessing those blessings that are there in life in these challenging and difficult times. I know it's hard, my friends, but we are all in this one together. I'm offering these devotions as my little bit of hope, doing what I can, playing my role, being a part of the solution. These devotions are offered as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, and for the soul. And the title for today's reflection is Accepting This. There is no other place. So I invite us to still ourselves. Let's invite a loving presence to be here amongst us and to awaken from deep, deep within us. I've lit the flame of freedom in the cup of belonging, acceptance and love. We join together in our physical separation, but united in our devotion to life and to love. Help us to sing for joy. Help us to sing for joy like the birds each morning. Sing their faith in being here and being alive. They never refuse their song. May we know the deep connections that sustain us, the roots that hold us so close, that nurture us beneath the surface of our lives, that no one else sees. May we be unafraid to explore the depths of being, those many layers of life. May we remember that we are deeply connected in heart, in mind, in spirit and in soul. May we be open to all that this day brings, whatever it may bring, to all that life offers, and may we offer our all to life. May our being become a vessel of love this day and in all the days to come. Amen. I'm going to begin this devotion with a favourite poem of mine, actually. It's a little self-indulgent, perhaps, this. This is Accepting This by Mark Nepo. Yes, it is true, I confess. I have thought great thoughts. I have sung great songs. All of it rehearsal for the majesty of being held. The dream is awakened when thinking I love you, and life begins when saying I love you, and joy moves like blood when embracing others with love. My efforts now turn from trying to outrun suffering to accepting love wherever I can find it. Stripped of causes and plans and things to strive for, I have discovered everything I could need to ask for is right here in flawed abundance. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. Ultimately, we are small, living things awakened in the stream, not gods who carve out rivers. Like human fish, we are asked to experience meaning in the life that moves through the gill of our heart. There is nothing to do and nowhere to go. Accepting this, we can do everything and go anywhere. Now, as I'm sure people are bored of hearing now, but I'm going to say it again, one of my favourite places on earth is Crosby Beach. And it's not just vanity that it's my favourite place, although I do love to stand next to the sign that reads Greater Crosby. So maybe a little bit of vanity, maybe. Maybe no, but you decide. Maybe a tad of vanity. But what I really love about Crosby Beach are those 100 identical sculptures of those 7-foot-tall figures that go by the title Another Place. There they stand staring out to sea, perhaps looking for another place. Any place but here. These naked, lonely scarecrows staring out into the great big nothing, dreaming of another place. Have you ever felt like that? I have. I have many times. I have stood there staring out into space so many times, dreaming of something other than the life I was living. Who does not want to escape when the tides of suffering are coming in? Who does not? It's a common hope, you know, to dream of some other place beyond the life we have, beyond the suffering and pain we all experience at times, or perhaps to dream of a place away from what can often be seen as the mundane aspects of normal life. We all at times hope for some heaven, the promised land, cocaine, the land of cocaine, nirvana, the perfect life when all our troubles are behind us. It's common to all we humans to dream of some technicolor dreamland, our own, private, us. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me. Oh. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Yes, it's such a common desire to dream of some other place beyond our current life. It's dangerous though. Remember those words sung by Dorothy in the 1939 film, The Wizard of Oz? Remember those words brought with them the tornado, and none of us wants the tornado. As I often hear people cry out and say, be careful what you pray for. You might just get it. Dorothy dreamed of another place somewhere over the rainbow, a place away from dull, grey, flat Kansas. But is there another place that we dream about, that we hope for, a heaven, a nirvana, the land of cocaine? Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody's been. Not in these bodies anyway. And it's not how it's meant to be. It's a waste of this precious gift that is our finite lives to wish it away. We are not meant to live our lives dreaming of another place, a place beyond life. Our task, I have come to believe, is to create heaven here, and it begins within each and every one of us. I much prefer to follow that simple message in the Sermon on the Mount, to become the light of the world, to create the kingdom of love right here, right now. We are here to bring alive the light within us, to hold one another, to live in love. We bring heaven alive through our loving living, or we create hell by fearing one another, fearing life, turning away and dreaming of some other place, somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere beyond this life. Why do we waste our days wishing our lives away? Another place contains 100 identical figures, all placed in different parts of Crosby Beach. Some are way out to sea and some close to the edge of the beach, almost on land actually. They disappear as the tide comes in and eventually are all consumed by the sea. None can hold back the tide. They are always overcome by the tide. It's important to remember that the sea is a powerful force, a power far greater than our singular human selves. We can't hold back the tide. Every single one of those statues is eventually overwhelmed by the sea. The sea teaches me a lesson in humility. Oh, how I love the sea. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by, and the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking, and a grey mist on the sea's face, and a grey dawn breaking. Yes, I love to go to the sea from time to time. I'd love to go now. I might do soon. Sometimes I hear the sea calling powerfully to me. It's a song I hear singing in my heart. I hear it with the ears of my heart. Now, what it is I love so much, I'm not entirely sure. I cannot entirely tell. Only my heart knows. And I've not yet perfected the language of the heart. Yes, I hear it, but I've not yet learned to adequately put it into words. I'll keep trying. Will you try with me? We can learn together, you know. My love for the sea has probably something to do with the vastness of it. Like King Canute, I am humbled by the sea. I know it is a power far greater than little old me, but it's more than that actually. I also find it deeply connective too. While the waves move individually, the sea moves as one. The sea speaks powerfully to me about the spiritual nature of life, both personally and communally. Like Nepo said in that earlier poem, ultimately we are small living things awakened in the stream, not gods who carve out rivers. Like human fish, we are asked to experience meaning in the life that moves through the gill of our heart. What a phrase, the gill of our heart. Where do these people come up with these phrases? Beautiful, wonderful, filling language. Now, I'm not alone in being overwhelmed by the sea's power, and thank God for that. Friedrich Buchner, in his beautiful meditation titled Tears, wrote the following about the great 20th century theologian Paul Tillich. So this is Tears by Friedrich Buchner. They say that whenever the great Protestant theologian Paul Tillich went to the beach, he would pile up a mound of sand and sit on it, gazing out at the ocean with tears running down his cheeks. One wonders what there was about it that moved him so. One wonders. The beauty and power of it, the inexpressible mystery of it, the futility of all those waves endlessly flowing in and ebbing out again, the sense that it was out of the ocean that life originally came, and that when life finally ends, it is the ocean that will still remain. Who knows? Maybe it was when he looked at the ocean that he caught a glimpse of the one he was praying to. Maybe what made him weep was how vast and overwhelming it was, and yet at the same time as near as the breath of it in his nostrils, and as salty as his own tears. I think I might get it, or get close, or get a glimpse of it perhaps. As Tillich also said, that which reveals also hides, but so by nearly getting it, I'm blinding myself to it, so be careful folks, be careful. I feel fully human when I open my senses to the sea actually. The sea humbles me, but it also connects me to life. It reminds me that I'm not God, and yet that mysterious power is very close at hand. God is with us, in us, running through us. We swim in a sea of love in the waters of life. And I bow I bow before the majesty of it all, for it truly humbles me. I bow before life, before the waters of life. I bow before the ground of all being of which I am a part of. I am human and I am finite. And accepting this, I see I am a part of life and I can live my life as one fish swimming in the ocean of life. I suspect that is what it means to live in heaven, actually. Heaven on earth. This is what it means to choose life in all its blessings and curses. It is to be at home in the earth or the sea in which you find yourself, to truly be in your being, to bring your being alive, to be here and let here be in you, to truly belong here and to live in time and space. And in so doing, you find yourself, and in so doing, you serve life, and your being is all, and all the being is in you and around you. You swim in it as like a sea, like an ocean. You become part of it, and it becomes you. A pretty picture, you might think. But is this just a dream? How do we do this? How do we serve the life we find ourselves in? How do we begin to swim in that sea? How do we begin to create the kingdom of love right here, right now? Is that just another fantasy, another dream, another Oz, another land of cocaine, another heaven, another nirvana? Is that possible? Is that practical? Well, we can't simply transcend suffering, ours or other people's. And I don't think we're meant to. Pain as much as joy is something we live with. So we have to let life sink into our human being. We have to accept it all, accepting this. We don't need to go anywhere or do anything. We just need to be here and let here be in us. As the water boys sang so wonderfully, come with me on a journey under the skin. Or come with me on a journey under the skin. Find the pan within. Because all you've got to do is surrender, surrender, surrender. All you've got to do is sink into the ground at your feet. All we have to do is to sink into the ground at our feet. Surrender to the ground of all being. To begin where we find ourselves. To start close in the earth, in the humus. To be fully human. Simple, innit? Sounds it, but it ain't easy. No. It ain't easy. We live in troubling times. We see this clearly when we look close at hand or when we look at our world. But we see it when we just look around us, maybe in our own hearts. We cannot escape the suffering that's part of life. We cannot take away the pain of our loved ones as much as we want to, and God, do I want to. I wish I could perform miracles. But I can't. Well, not those kind of miracles anyway. You know, my work, my ministry truly humbles me. And you know what? It should. If it didn't, I wasn't doing it right. I know I can't take anyone's burden from them, but I do know I can walk with them and be with them in their pain, as well as their joy and their celebration. By being with them as we choose life in all its blessings and curses. So to repeat those beautiful words by Mark Nepo that I began with, we cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. As individuals, we can't end suffering, but we can do small little things And that's how we create that kingdom of love. And didn't Jesus say it begins with the little things, the mustard seed? The great things grow from tiny little things. I'm going to share another favourite poem in a second. David White, one of my formed in the same soil of West Yorkshire I was formed in, but he had an Irish soul. And this wonderful poem that I like to share often, I'm sorry if you've heard it before, but you're going to hear it again. He talked about where we begin, really. We start close in. It's how we begin the courageous conversation, as he called it. It's how we begin to live, to create the kingdom of love right here, right now, through the authentic, the courageous conversation. Through dwelling in our own being, we connect with all life. And it begins here, not some other place. It begins here. It starts close in with the first step, the step you don't want to take. So here's Close In by David White. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way of starting the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To find another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear listening to another. Start right now. Take a small step. You can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in. The step you don't want to take. We cannot take away the pain of the world. I'm not sure it's even our task. But we can humbly walk with one another. To repeat those words again by Nepo. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. Accepting this is a poem that touches the soul of me so deeply. Yes, we are small things, but we are significant, and we are living things who truly are awakened when we swim in the stream in the water of life. No, we are not God, but we can be enlightened by that spirit and experience meaning in this life. We can know what it is to be fully alive. We just have to let that water flow through the gill of our hearts. Just imagine to let the water flow through the gill of your heart. Just swim in the sea. We do not need to wish for some other place or even travel to another place, We just need to accept the reality of our beautiful and finite humanity. And we can do anything and truly go anywhere. If we take care of these small things, we may just begin to build the kingdom of love right here, right now. So let's stop dreaming of some other place, somewhere over the rainbow. Let's instead inhabit the ground at our feet. Let's open the gills of our hearts and swim in the water of life. And let's build a land where we'll bind up the broken and walk hand in hand and hold one another tight. This is heaven on earth. All is well. All is well. All is well. Amen. I'm going to end this little reflection with a final few words of blessing. We know we need to bless more, and we can all bless. We bless by giving our whole hearts to life. So let's begin now. Let's begin today. Let's give our whole hearts to life. May the Eternal bless you and protect you. May the Eternal smile on you and favour you. May the Eternal befriend you and prosper you. And may we carry the song of the Eternal with us, and may we do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, in all that we do. Namaste. Amen.